I used to think love stories were just like movies. You know, a hero, a villain, and they lived happily ever after. That's what they taught us in school and what I saw on TV every Sunday afternoon. So when I first got a girlfriend, A for Angel, I really thought she was the one I'd be walking down the aisle with. I was all in. I mean, I would have given her my Friendster password if she asked for it. Monogamy was the cool thing back then. Sticking to one person was the right way, everyone said, so I followed along. I put in the effort. I tried to be a good guy. I saved up for our dates at McDonald's. But life, it turns out, isn't a Star Cinema script. One day, my angel, well, she was praying to a different saint. I only caught them through text messages. Classic. The kind where you ask, "Who's B?" and she says, "Oh, that's just my cousin." But then the cousin's text said, "I love you too, babe." That's when I realized Heartbreak wasn't just a slow song on the radio. It actually hurt. Like someone stabbed you in the heart with a pen. And not just any pen, a G-Tech, the really sharp kind. My trust in the idea of just us two suddenly turned to ashes, like a piece of paper burned to nothing. That's where my doubts began. Why should you be loyal to one person if that one person isn't loyal to you? It felt like an exam where only you studied. Unfair? I tried to understand. Was it my fault? Was I not enough? Was I lacking something? All those what-ifs I carried with me, I brought them into my next relationships. I looked for answers to questions I didn't really understand. That first heartbreak, that was actually the start of a very, very long class called How to Get Hurt 101. And I was the student who was always present. Monogamy, in my eyes back then, was like a contract. An agreement that it's just you and me. But I learned the hard way that a contract can totally be torn up. It can be ignored. It can be just thrown away. A promise turns into mere words with no weight. And happily ever after, that was the biggest joke of all. That first disappointment opened the door to a much messier world of relationships, where every letter of the alphabet brought a new story of failure. After A whole alphabet of heartbreaks entered my life. B, C, D, and so many others. It was like I was collecting trading cards, but they were all losers. B, an artist who loved his guitar more than me. His personality was like a Smith song. Sad. Me? I was like Vong Navarro, always wanting to dance. We just didn't match. C was super jealous. She even got jealous of the store clerk I bought cigarettes from. I got tired. It felt like I was in a cage, and the bars were her suspicion. There were also times I got into relationships I didn't fully understand. G, for example, slowly discovered her own sexual orientation while we were still together. It wasn't her fault, and it wasn't my fault either. But it still hurt. It's like waiting for a bus at the wrong terminal. You waited for nothing. Differences in personality and orientation, those are the silent killers of relationships. You think everything's okay, but deep down, the foundation is slowly cracking because you're just not meant for each other, no matter how hard you try. From A to Z, if I listed them all, we'd be here until Christmas. J, who was always late. K, who was stingy. M, who loved me but loved his friends more. P, who was possessive. R, who said I was the reason for all his problems. In every relationship, I tried to be the one. I changed myself to fit what they wanted. I adjusted. I endured. But in the end, nothing ever worked out. Something was always missing. Something was always wrong. And that's when I thought, maybe they weren't the problem. Maybe I wasn't either. Maybe the system itself was broken. The idea that you have to fit into a box. My trust in sticking to one was like cell phone load. It ran out. With every failed attempt, it decreased. Until one day, it was zero balance. Nothing left. How can you believe in something that repeatedly disappoints you? It's like betting on the lottery. You hope, but you know the chances of winning are small. Monogamy for me became a game I couldn't play anymore. I was tired of being faithful to one person, only to find out in the end that my faithfulness was wasted. Marriage. For many, it's the peak of love, the ultimate goal. For me, it became a symbol of a formal prison. I saw in my friends and in my own experiences how what should be love turns into a legal obligation. That signature on paper becomes a chain. Suddenly, you're not allowed to make mistakes, not allowed to change your mind. Cheating, which used to be a simple "we're breaking up," becomes a legal case of adultery or concubinage. It's scary. Love, which should set you free, suddenly holds you by the neck. Separation, on the other hand, is made to look like a huge sin in society. If you're separated, there's something wrong with you. Broken family, failed marriage, so many labels. But honestly, isn't it braver to leave a relationship that's not working, rather than staying in a house full of resentment? For me, separation isn't an end. Sometimes it's a beginning. It's admitting to yourself that this is as far as we go. And it's better to be friends than to be enemies living under the same roof. Polygamy, or having multiple relationships at the same time, with everyone's consent, wasn't something I sought out. It just came as an alternative, an answer to my questions. If the problem is the pressure to be everything for one person, why not just allow different people for different aspects of your life? One for deep conversations, one for laughter and silliness, one for physical intimacy. This isn't about cheating, it's about honesty. Honesty with everyone you're in a relationship with. I learned that betrayal isn't about having others. True betrayal is lying, hiding things, breaking the trust given to you. In polygamous relationships, the foundation is honesty. Communication is open. Everyone knows where they stand. No hidden agendas, more complicated, yes, but more real. For me, I'd rather have the complicated truth than the simple lie of monogamy that kept hurting me over and over. This became my great escape from the endless cycle of heartbreak. At this point in my life, it's 2025, and I'm happy. I choose to be single in the eyes of the law and society. No contracts, no obligations, but that doesn't mean I'm alone. I choose polygamous relationships. This is a setup where I'm free to connect with different people, and they're free to do the same. Our foundation is communication and honesty. No one owns anyone. No one is owned. Each person is a complete individual who chooses to share a part of their life with others without the pressure to be the one and only. Why do I like this? Because with this, there's no more heavy weight. No more expectations to be shattered. If one relationship doesn't work out, it doesn't mean my world will crumble. I still have other connections that support me. It's like having different friends. You don't force your drinking buddy to also be your best friend at work, right? It's the same with love. Love shouldn't be limited. It shouldn't be boxed in. The heart can love many, as long as you're true and honest with everyone. For those reading this who are currently going through heartbreak, I only have one thing to say: breathe. It's not the end of the world, even if it feels that way. Moving on isn't a race. Take your time. Cry if you need to. Get angry, then get back up. Don't be afraid to try again. Don't be afraid to take risks. If monogamy isn't for you, that's okay. If it is for you, that's okay too. There's no single right formula for love. Find where you're happy and true to yourself. The most important lesson I've learned from A to Z is this: before you love others, love yourself first. Prioritize your happiness. Don't let others dictate what you should feel or who you should love. Life is too short to live inside a box made by other people. So now, I'm single but not alone. I'm free to love. And for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm doing the right thing. For me.